What is the widow's shadow, you might be asking yourself? Well, let me tell you. Let me just turn down the music a tad bit on my end. The widow's shadow, the synopsis reads, following her late husband's funeral, a widow laments her loss. The townsfolk's whispers surround her every time she leaves the house, rumors she cannot avoid no matter how she tries. Yet one night, everything that she wishes to ignore will be laid bare as she steps into a twisted reality, one born from her own heart. There's 3 different endings, and in one of them, so content warning. I'm gonna give out the content warnings real quick. Hi, Floor. Oh my God, hi. I hope you're doing well. Aren't you supposed to be out and about? So, the content warnings include death. Not shocked. This is a horror game. Domestic abuse. Just looking at the Steam page and the fact that it's the widow's shadow, yeah. I feel like that was implied. It's like, yeah, the fact that she's like defined by being a widower rather than who she is as a person is, ooh, yeah. Mentions of murder, gaslighting, cheating. This husband was a piece of shit, wasn't he? I'm assuming the husband did all of this. Monsters, spider imagery, mentions of war, and drugging, and then one of the endings contains stabbing, blood, and choking. Floor with the wink. Listen, Flo, I get you. I get you from right from the get-go. I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be a ride. All right, let's start. Death. In the end, it gets us all. It's an inevitability we're all aware of, yet we try, hopelessly, to ignore it. The war exposes all to the fragility of life, leaving only carcasses of the people we once knew. Oh, thank you, Flo. I appreciate it. Thank you. Friends, family, lovers, gone forever. Even though the war ended a few years ago, its remnants are still felt. We try to return to our lives, to blind ourselves to the final fate of all. But in the end, death gets us all. For some, that ending arrives unexpectedly, much earlier than it should. I can't believe it. He's truly gone. I just visited his clinic last week and nothing was wrong. How could this happen? Listen, I'm pretty sure a lot of wives back in the day when World War I or World War II was happening, or whatever war, especially back in the World Wars, a lot of wives wanted to like just kill their husbands. Because those husbands were pieces of shit. Let me tell you. And like out on the surface, you would think nothing's wrong. You think it's a perfectly happy relationship, but deep down, a lot of those wives definitely wanted to kill their husbands, or wish like, you know what? I hope he doesn't come back from the war. Saves me the trouble. I'm just saying. Never before had I met someone as caring as him. He was so young too. May God bless his soul. That is so awful. Imagine like you're going to your abusive husband's funeral, and you're most likely there for presentation purposes. Like I have to be there because I'm his wife. If I'm not, people are going to shit talk me, or going to assume that I had something to do with his death. Oh yo, what's up, Javon? Oh my God, it's been a hot minute. I hope you're doing well, my dude. Oh shit, thank you for stopping on by, dude. Awesome. But yeah, imagine and then you just hear, oh, he was so kind and caring. Like, no, he wasn't. It's true. He was the only one who actually took my illness seriously. Without him, I may as well be the one in that coffin. You know, I've been wondering about his death. Oh, here we go. Oh, the rumor mill is starting. Hush, his wife is coming this way. Oh, and she's so pretty. She actually... Keep your distance, I heard. Is that true? I knew something. The townspeople continue chatting behind me. I know they're discussing me, but their words grow distant as I look at the cadaver of my late husband. His face no longer shows any signs of life, thank God. His skin as pale as the moon above us. It seems cruel that the world has taken such a beloved man and left his worthless wife instead. Honey, no. You're not worthless. How am I meant to go on? A tear slips down my cheek and onto the casket. Without him, I'm no one. I may as well vanish from existence. As the whispers around me dissipate, the funeral continues. He just looks like an asshole. Look at that guy. He looks like a dick. Only 3 days have passed since the funeral. I have not left the house since then. It's not unusual. Rather, it was the norm even when my husband was still alive. Oh, that's depressing. After all, I had to take care of the chores around the house and prepare for when he returned from work. There was barely any reason for me to go out and, have a life and have friends. Who needs friends when you're a housewife and you just, who needs all of that? You have your chores, you have your house, and you have your husband. That's all you need, I guess. You don't need any freedom, you don't need any fun, you don't need any friends. Who cares? You have your duties and attend to them, Yikes. But now that he's no longer here, the silence in the room is more noticeable than ever. I still remember when I found his body, his hand slowly releasing its grasp from his shirt as he took his last breath. Heart attack or potential poisoning. He was a doctor after all. Listen, he was a doctor. So he could have had some medication or other substances that could have either poisoned him or gave him a heart attack. It was too late for me to do anything. Once more, I was unhelpful, even when it mattered most. Honey, you discovered him when he died. Like, what were you gonna do? Rewind time? Listen, I feel like if you came in right when he was dying, were you really gonna save him? Let's think about it. Everything afterwards is a blur, but his face is burned in my mind. Contorted in expression I had never seen on him before, one of helplessness. I bring a hand to my chest. The air around me feels suffocating. It'd be good to get groceries. I'm running out of eggs already. I wish I could get eggs. But hey, listen, they're $12 a dozen. Or shit, yeah, $12 a dozen. And the avian flu's going around. Shit's crazy right now. The world is in shambles. But I really do want some eggs. I want some sunny side up eggs. A simple excuse to get out of the room. Ooh, I really like the backgrounds. The afternoon sun is covered by a multitude of clouds, but that hasn't seemed to stop the townspeople from spending time outside. I can feel their eyes on me as soon as I exit the house, but I try to ignore them. Is that the doctor's wife? Oh my, it is her. It's rare to see her outside, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely, but don't stare at her too much. You would not believe the things I've heard. Oh, now I must know. Oh my god, the gossipers, Jesus. A knot forms my throat. No matter how much I try to block out their voices, they're too loud to ignore. I saw her at the funeral the other night. I'm sure I saw her hide a smile. Unbelievable. She was crying. If I may, how did the doctor die again? They said a heart failure, but you don't think she could have, My body tenses up upon hearing them, upon understanding what they mean. I bet she did. Frankly, I think she was just disappointed the war didn't take him away. She probably wanted to keep his money all to herself. That's not true. So wait, because he died of random circumstance, of heart failure, she doesn't get any money? But if he died from the war, she would have gotten money. Well, damn. That's not true. Maybe she was getting tired of married life. From what I hear, it doesn't sound like she actually loved him at all. That's not true. Oh, there was a pause. That was a pause. I saw her husband looking very worried not too long ago. Do you think he expected this? Well, he was always going on about how he thought his wife was going to kill him. That's not true. Overwhelmed by the words that surround me, I hurry my pace, desiring nothing more than to get away. I run and run, the judgment in their voices still ringing in my ears. They think I killed him. I shouldn't have left the house, but it felt so painful to stay inside. Now, perhaps the whole world will be filled with suffering for me. I press on until I forget my destination, not paying attention to my surroundings anymore. Oh, what the hell? Oh, what wicked woods are we in? Oh, no. I finally stopped to catch my breath, my legs aching from sudden exercise. These clothes are not made for running, nor are they my shoes, nor is my body. Only once I regain my breath do I notice that the ground beneath my feet is no longer stone. I lift my head slightly and notice that in my panic, I've stumbled into a forest. I don't remember there being any forests nearby. I turn around to try and retrace my steps back to where I came from, but I only see more trees behind me. This is why in horror you can't just start running in any direction when you're just in a panic, because otherwise you're going to end up in no man's land. You're just going to end up who knows where. There's no map. You can't use MapQuest. You can't pull a map out of your ass because this place doesn't exist. It's like, well, I'm screwed. This isn't good. How will I return home? Looking forward once more, I notice a clear path between the trees. I wonder if perhaps it could take me where I can ask for directions. Yeah, let's just go further into the woods. Let's just go into the woods. Maybe, listen, actually, let's not go into the woods. We might meet, oh no. We might start hearing some singing. I don't want to, I mean, to be fair, I haven't heard Into the Woods. Who's that one dude that one night host that sings? What's his name? The old name like James. It's all horrible. James Corden. Like, imagine you're like, I'm gonna go start asking for directions. You know, you start running into the woods and you see James Corden. I, for one, would just give up right then and there and just ask God to smite me, because there's no fate worse than meeting James Corden. That's it. You know. Oh, hi, E-Man. How you doing? Thank you for coming on by. As I walk through the trees, a curious shape makes itself visible in the distance. A rather small building stands out at the end of the path. A house? Here, of all places. I'm doing pretty good, E-Man. I'm doing alright. It's Saturday. I actually went to the store earlier and got myself a small strawberry shortcake that I might have later or tomorrow. I don't really have sweets all that often, so I'm like, oh, this could be a nice little treat for myself. I've been thinking about getting a strawberry shortcake for like a couple of days now. At the moment, approaching it seemed like my best bet to find someone who can aid me. With light steps, as my legs still ache from before, I walk the path towards the house. It takes some time, but eventually I make it to the house. The building is unlike any other I have seen. Its walls and windows twist and turn in strange ways, never upright. As I observe the place, I take notice of something unexpected. A group of people are having a lively chat just outside the house. There's an odd feeling inside me as I watch from close by. I have seen them before. They're people from town. What are they doing at a place like this? My eyes wander to a strange-looking man. Something about him is different from the rest. Well, first of all, he actually has like a sprite. He's not a silhouette. He actually has a sprite. He has a face and everything. Oh, thank you so much for taking care of me, doctor. I've been feeling so much better ever since I first visited you. Please, there's no need to thank me. I'm just glad I could be of help. If you feel any side effects from your new medicine, do let me know as soon as possible, all right? You're so humble, too. We're truly blessed to have you in this town. It is such a shame that you're already spoken for. I walk a bit closer to take a better look at them. And upon my eyes and the face of that strange individual, I finally recognize him. That's my husband. Yikes. Oh, you're too kind, but don't let my wife hear that. Why would you say that? But he died. How could he be here, standing in front of me? Although that hair isn't like anything he's had before. Could I be confusing him with someone else? Ah, but his face is identical, and they even mentioned he's a doctor. What's going on? Hmm? Ah. If it isn't my darling wife. Wife? So it is him, but how can this be? Why are you making that face, love? Are you, perhaps, not happy to see me? Why are you saying this in front of people? Of course, this is the greeting I get from you. I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up. Kill him. Right now, on the spot. I don't care if there are witnesses. Sorry. I don't understand. The man who is supposedly my husband leans in and lowers his voice. You've already got your head in the clouds. Who knows what kind of crazy thoughts you're having right now? The least you could do is not embarrass me in front of my patients. No, I haven't done anything. But I haven't done anything too. I'm not looking for excuses. I will give you another chance this time since I'm feeling generous. Holy shit. He really is just like him, despite the changes in his appearance. Yet he shouldn't be here, or anywhere else for that matter. Is this real? My gaze wanders from my husband to the strange house behind him. Everything around me seems uncanny. I feel like saying you must be going crazy is gonna lead us down a very dark, not so good path. Because I feel like it's like, you know what, I am crazy. I am exactly what my dead husband, or my husband who's standing right before me, is saying I am. I am crazy. No, you're not, you know. Well, I mean, the house a little bit, I wouldn't be dreaming of Pee-wee's Playhouse. You know, I would be conjuring up a whole environment, a whole setting. But, hey, we all have our off days, am I right? Maybe one day I'll have I'll have this exact moment in my life. I need to find out more, I feel. I think that's the better option instead of just saying, you know what, I'm crazy. Because I don't want to give in. I don't want her to think she's crazy and be like, you know what, my husband's right. He was right all along. I am crazy. I have no idea what's happening here. Perhaps I'm going mad, but honey, I told you not to say that. I told you not to do that. I need to find out more. I face my husband, who seems to be awaiting an answer from me. And then he just disappears. But as soon as I open my mouth to speak, his figure, as well as those of the villagers, disappears into thin air. How? I realize then that it's useless to ask anything of the empty air. My eyes fall upon the door once more. Perhaps inside I can learn what's truly happening here. I gather enough courage to knock. Well, apparently, I was gonna say, apparently not to her knocking, just opening the door and just barging right on in. No manners. The door opens unexpectedly before my knuckles can even strike it once. Hello? A voice echoing through the walls of the house flows out to the door. Come on, come in, I've been waiting for you. Waiting? A part of me is terrified, wondering what I'm getting myself into. And yet, despite this, I don't hesitate to take a step forward and enter the house. I was gonna say, do we not pay the electricity bill? Do we not have any candles nearby? Like, why is it so dark? It's only dark for a moment before the inside of the house reveals itself. To my surprise, the space before me is much larger than it seems from the outside. The walls extend far beyond what I would have imagined could fit within them. I take another step deeper inside, even as anxiety builds within me. There's no one around, just... Where did that voice come from? Oh, okay. What? Listen, you know, owner of the house, I do not play these games. Turn lights back on, please. As if triggered by my thoughts, the lights go out. Ah. My eyes adapt to the darkness. At least there's still some light from the windows. At last, the devil is dead. A sudden voice calls out, the same as before, but this time so much clearer. There's an odd familiarity in that voice, one I cannot quite place. A shadow is cast in the steps, coming from me, and its form begins to change. Oh, what the fuck? Did you comb your hair? The lights turn on again, blinding me for just a second. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, honey, did you just roll to bed? You might want to go and get ready. But no, she looks fine. And where the shadow was before, there is now a woman. At last, you're here. I've been waiting for you for so long. Oh, so long. We have to celebrate. Huh? Celebrate? Wait, who are you? There is something strange about this woman, not only in the way she dresses and in her mannerisms, but also in her voice. It sounds just like my own, exactly the same that I hear. Oh, me? Oh, love, you haven't figured it out yet. I'm you. Huh? Don't be ridiculous. I'm me. You can't be me. Right? You're quite slow. Hi, Square. How you doing, Square? I hope you're doing well today. The woman in front of me raises her veil. Oh. I am your shadow. The true self. What? Your face. It's just like mine. You're finally understanding. I am the truest, most honest version of you there is. How? It's like looking into a mirror. But even if we look at the same, her attitude is nothing like mine. You may not have been aware, but I've been around for a long time. However, I'm getting quite tired of having to explain myself. Let's move on to the celebration, shall we? What celebration? Did you not hear me the first time? Ugh, the death of that devil, of course. Or, in clearer terms, the death of our husband. What? Oh, I've waited so long for that man to croak. How can you say that? Huh? Why do you look so sad? This is what you wanted, isn't it? You should be happy. Didn't you feel joy seeing life abandon his body? Seeing him lose his strength and keel over? Seeing him die because of you? Stop. How dare you say such things? I loved him. He was my husband. You do know that those things don't have to correlate, right? And implying I killed him, I'd never have done that. Things weren't always perfect, but that's normal in any relationship. No, listen, that is true. Things aren't always perfect. But that doesn't excuse manipulation, gaslighting, and abuse. No, that's not normal in a relationship. Those things and so much more are not normal in a relationship. And when you start to devalue yourself and you see yourself as just your husband's spouse and nothing more, you're not your own person, that is when you know you are at rock fucking bottom in terms of life and in terms of that relationship. Because there's nothing worse than just being somebody's spouse and you know what I'm saying? And of course, it just being the most toxic relationship possible. Losing him hurt the whole town. It hurt me. I love how that it hurt me came after that. It hurt the whole town, and then she's like, oh, it hurt me too. I'm nothing like you. You're quite pathetic, aren't you? Fine, we can leave the festivities for later. Since you're having such a hard time accepting this, perhaps I'll give you a little more time. Behind me, the door slams shut. Don't even try. That door is locked tight. Why? It's much too early for you to leave. Feel free to explore the house. I'm sure you'll find plenty of interesting things in the shadows. See you soon. Oh shit. I like her. I like the shadow. With those words, the shadow vanishes from view, leaving me alone in this strange house. There's little choice on what to do next. I could just wait here, but perhaps I should do as she says. Though the thought of what I might find frightens me. I take a deep breath, then head down the first hallway I see. Entering the windowless hallway, I notice how it stretches toward a never-ending void. I turned to go back the way I came, only to see that the archway I entered through has vanished. Please, no! Hello? Are you still there, Shadow? As I call out and scream for help, my voice is muted, sucked in by the darkness and lost to all but me. No, this can't be my tomb. The harrowing creak of a door opening in the far distance draws my attention. As I gaze upon what lies before me, the end of the hallway feels far, impossibly far, but it's also the only respite available. I guess I have no choice. With each step I take, the end seems to draw further and further away, and the door never comes into view. Huh? What's that? Something catches my eye up ahead. I rushed over to get a better look. A large frame photo hangs on the wall, staring down at me. Craning my neck, I see two more further along the wall. Looking back to the photo before me, I see myself and him, together on our wedding day, smiling. I still remember our vows. I promise to be your honest and faithful, loving wife for the rest of my days. I vow to dedicate myself to your happiness and success. My love for you is forever. Man. I feel like in a normal, stable relationship, those vows would sound, fine. You'd be like, oh, that's cute. But then you see what kind of relationship she was in, and you're like, oh, dedicate myself to your success and happiness. Now I have to remember what he said. What did he say in response? He's like, whatever. Let's get this over with. Like, it must have not been that great for her, It's comforting remembering this moment in time when we were both happy. The happiness didn't last long. Our first big argument was that night after the reception. Not wanting to wallow in my memories of him, I move on to the next hanging frame. Where did you go? There you are. I found you. The next pictured silhouette stares down at me, my old friend from life before marriage. We've known each other since our youth. Hide and seek was our favorite game to play in the woods behind our homes. She was always supportive of the things I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. If you say he is the one for you, then he's the one for you. I hope you'll be happy together. I wish you my love and all the best in your future. But then you never saw her again, huh? I hope you've been well, my friend. It's been so long since we last spoke. I often wonder where she is now. My memory fails to remind me of how and why our friendship ended. We were so close for so long. The cries of a baby pulled me to the last framed photo. Oh, there was a kid? Oh, they had a kid. What happened to the kid? The closer I get, the louder the cries become. It's haunting. Look at the final photo and see a reminder of the nursery my husband and I had prepared only a couple of years ago. It was still early, I had yet to conceive, but we were nonetheless excited to welcome a new addition to our lives. I wish for a world where you could have joined me. Wanting to distract myself from my thoughts and continue onwards. Oh, what happened? No, they lost the baby? Oh, that sucks. Light breaks through the darkness. I make it to a slightly open door at the end of the hallway. Finally, a way out. My darling, you've made ample headway. I hear my husband's voice seeping through from the next room. How is he here? Careful! If you progress too quickly, you won't have a reason to see me anymore. Is he talking to me? Before we were wed, he used to speak to me like this. It was charming. At least I found it so. That was when I was his patient. That's how we met, but this doesn't make sense. The woman's laughter echoes into the hallway. Of course, he was speaking to someone else. He hasn't spoken to me that way in years. Wait, did he say, my darling to somebody else? Wow. I know the game warned of cheating, but that's awful. Doctor, you're too funny. There's a reason I come here so often. Well, maybe I can find another ailment to rid you of. I draw closer to the door, peering through its crack. Sure enough, I see my husband in the next room, his home office. At his home? He did this at the house? Oh no, at least the man who claimed to be him. He draws near to the only other person in the room and leans over her, closer than any patient would be comfortable with. And yet, it's clear she's not moving away anytime soon. It won't be hard. I'm positive you'll find a multitude on further examination. She smiles seductively at him, encouraging him to continue. Was he like this with all his patients? And I just happened to be the first? What's going on? Ooh. The quick disappearance of the woman surprises me, but only momentarily. The fact that I see my husband standing before me, or a version of him, shakes me much more. Darling, couldn't you see that I was with a patient? I've told you before, when I'm working, you are not to enter my office. So I don't catch you cheating, is that why? Whether this man is real or not, he certainly sounds like my husband. And that tone, his manner of speech, it's as if he were here with me again. I shouldn't jump to conclusions. How could I not worry? No, how could I not worry? He's right, this is part of his job, but how could I not worry upon finding him in a position as questionable as that? Who was that woman? I don't understand what's so unclear. She's a patient, nothing more. If you're worried because you were also my patient in the past, then you do well to remember that you're the one I married. Once again, he's not wrong, but that is why these thoughts cross my mind. I'm his wife. Is this not how a wife would react? But now I question what sort of woman I've married. Oh, hell no. What the hell is wrong with you? Look at the mess around the house. Have you done any cleaning at all today? No, I speak up. I always do. I know how he'll respond, but I can't hold my tongue any longer. When my husband was alive, I always cleaned every day. Just never cared enough to notice. You should spend less time eavesdropping, more time taking care of our home. I often wish there was a way to show him just how much I did for us. I don't have time to oversee both my work and that of my wife. Do you ever take into account how tired I am at the end of my day? I do. I always do. Well, if that's all, you may return to your daily tasks. You'd best get started, considering how much you've been dilly-dallying. Even when I did finish all my work, he'd find more for me to do. He was never short of ways to keep me busy. Something continues to eat away at me. His words and their dismissive nature give me pause. That woman, I've seen her at our home before, during his off hours. When he courted me, he was not married, but now, despite his marital status, she continues to return for his services, like a leech that's forever hungry for more. Thoughts race through my mind, churning as questions of my husband's faithfulness return to haunt me. Why did he not refuse her advances? Was he looking to replace me? Were his assurances of love riddled with lies? I look back at the woman in the mirror. Does she not see me standing here? Who? Your patient. She has returned. I see her in the mirror, seeking your attention. Why has she returned so soon? She was just here. He sighs and looks at the mirror, then back at me. A hint of annoyance taints his face. You mustn't be well, my dear. I don't know what you see, but the only people in the reflection are the two of us. No, he's wrong. She's right there. Perhaps you're imagining things again. You know how prone you are to see and hearing things that aren't there. Oh, here's the gaslighting. The woman in the mirror turns to stare at me. A wide smile creeps across her face, as if she had successfully lured my husband away. But she's right there. Can you really not see her? Stop your nonsense this instant. He waves me away, but I can't stop myself from looking at the woman. Her chilling smile and soulless eyes bore through me. She couldn't have been the only one. He takes note that I have yet to depart. How many times do I have to tell you that she is not here? You must see her too. Tell me she's real. There is no one. I shut my eyes tight, shielding myself. Upon opening my eyes, I see that she has disappeared. Even when she leaves, I know she'll come back, time and time again, just to see you. Of course she will. I'm her doctor. Is that where it stops? Quit making up stories in your head. If there's nothing going on, then why does she come by so often, even when you retire for the evening? The more I speak my mind, the more I feel myself shake. I know I need to power through. A memory surges through me. I feel like I felt this way before, but no more than once. She can't have so much ailing her that she can't simply that she can simply visit whenever she pleases. Drop it now, woman, can you not see that I am devoted to you? Who do you think I work so hard for? I keep food on the table and a roof over our heads. There is no one else I am married to. The mascara. I recoil at his outburst. His face turns monstrous, almost otherworldly, like my shadow. I can't bear to look at him. Do you not see how much I do for us? And yet here you are, accusing me of outrageous things while you laze around, doing absolutely nothing. Though this is far from the first time he's raised his voice, I never expected to experience this again, let alone so soon. I thought I buried these feelings when I buried him. I hear him breathing heavily, seething through his teeth. After a moment, he clears his throat. I know this is him attempting to regain composure. My dear, look at me. Slowly, I open my eyes. His regular expression has returned, softer than before. Come, let me help you. Let me help ease your mind. I take a step towards him, but stop when he reaches for his medicine cabinet. Oh no. Come here. This is for you in your well-being. Oh, he's gonna drug me. As I look at the medication that lies in his palm, I hesitate. My gaze returns to the mirror. No, do not take the pills. I know my mind is not failing me. I know what I saw. I stand my ground, making it known that I do not plan on ingesting any more of his medicine. How do I know that these drugs aren't what caused me to see those supposed hallucinations? He continues to stare at me sternly. Finally, he shrugs and places the pills back into their bottle. You don't know what others in town say about you in your episodes. Administering these pills is my way of protecting you, darling. Try to understand the position you've put me in. That I've put you in. Do you not see how you make me behave? Make you behave? You choose to react in that way. I'm only this way when we're together. No one else pushes me to my limit quite like you. I talk back. You've changed. You weren't always like this. I'm only telling you these things because I love you. Why must you continue to question me, what I do, how I am? If you truly loved me as much as I love you, you'd let me be. You'd trust me, just as I trust you to take care of our homes in my absence. Oh boy. I love you as much as I trust you. I do love you just as much as I trust you. Clearly not enough, it seems. No matter how much I show you or how many times I tell you, you never what? You never listen. Oh, get away. I never listen? Every time you talk, I listen. If I never listen, what do you call what I'm doing right now? He thinks he's right, but he's wrong. He only hears what he wants to hear, never attempting to understand. You listen. But you don't comprehend anything I say. He scoffs at my comment. Clearly, he isn't used to me speaking up. For a moment, he seems flabbergasted, fumbling for words. I don't comprehend because you have nothing of substance to say. He's found his voice, but he still spits out whatever excuse he can grasp. Even when I'm dead, I'll still hear you speak nonsense. Oh, but you are dead. He stares at me long and hard, unwavering in his gaze. I bet you'd like that, wouldn't you? Anyway, I can't talk to you when you're like this. He roughly grabs my arm and pushes me towards the door, leading me back into the hallway. Don't grab me like that. What's wrong with you? I don't struggle against his grasp. After all, what's the point when I now finally see a crack in his words? Leave me to my work. I don't need you interrupting me any more than you already have. Finding myself back in the hallway, I head in the only available direction left for me. I don't want to linger in on the memories of recent events. The hallway feels much shorter than the first time I came through. Perhaps it stems from knowing the unknown. The framed photos from when I first traversed this endless hallway come back into view. I approach the first one. The nursery, never used. The crying doesn't haunt me as much as it did before. He always said that it was my fault that he never had someone to carry on his legacy. The audacity of shitty white men. Holy crap. Wow. I guess he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Taking a step closer, I raise my hand to the photo. I'm glad I never had you. It saved you from having to experience this world. From having to experience him. Things always happen for a reason. And this was probably for the best. Best not to linger on what could have been. I continue to the next framed photo and look up at the woman before me. I'm sorry we've lost so much of our time together. I wish you were with me now to help pull me out of this place. You would have known what to do, what to say against him. I remember how strong-willed she was. Nothing could faze her. Not even my husband. Now that I think about it, my husband never had anything good to say about her. She will only plague your thoughts with ideas unfit for a woman, let alone a wife. Her ideas were always grand, like traveling, exploring the world. Have you not heard how the town speaks of her? Why do you think she continues to be unwed? She often said a man would only hold her back. Hey, she wasn't wrong. She was kind of cooking with that. You have to let her go at some point. She won't be with you forever, neither will you. That's what I'm here for, to care for and protect you. You only protected me from seeing the world, and from the world seeing me. I chuckled to myself. Maybe when we grew apart, that's where she went, around the world, experiencing things I could only dream of, all on her own. The last words she spoke to me come trickling back. Come, my friend, we can travel the globe together, just the two of us, away from those who insist on dictating how we live our lives. Ooh, I wish I could snap, but yes. I wish I had followed you. Turning my back on my friend yet again, I do my best to continue. It's what she would have done. I stop at the last frame before me. The unhappy memories of my wedding night enter my mind. It wasn't long after the reception had ended. Our families and friends were still present at the venue. He had pulled me aside after following me to the restroom. Seething through his clenched teeth, he accused me of embarrassing him in front of our loved ones. They had called his family cheap, that I was too materialistic, that I was unappreciative of what they had given. I had only pointed out that his parents' gifted bottle of wine still had its price tag tacked to the bottom. That was the first time I learned how little he cared to listen to anything I had to say. He simply continued to scold me as if he was in love with hearing his own voice. If only I knew then what I know now. The moment I turn away from the framed photo, the arch of the hallway exit appears before me as if the house knows I'm ready to move on. I hurry through the archway as quickly as possible, leaving those memories behind for now. But somehow I know this isn't the end of it. Why did that woman bring me here? What could she possibly have to gain from doing this to me? All that pain, all the guilt and resentment thrown back in my face like it was nothing. Why couldn't I just be left in peace? You really don't get it yet? Suddenly, she appears before me with that odd smile that doesn't look right on her face. My shadow. I'm doing this for you, my dear, so you can finally stop burying your head in the sand. You're beginning to see the light, but it's not enough. Oh no, it's not nearly enough yet. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Forcing me to relive the things that I've been through, the things he did to me. Tell me something. If you really are me, why do you want to watch me suffer? Because, darling, your strength is my strength. The truth will set you free and all that, but it can't very well do that if you don't face it. And what truth is that? She lets out a giggle and taps the side of her head conspiratorially before vanishing once again, her voice still echoing in my ears. You'll see. And just like that, I'm alone again. But something is wrong. A deep rumbling reverberates beneath my feet, a shiver running up my spine. The air grows heavy and oppressive, as though the walls are closing in around me. Oh, is this what happened? Are we feeling our husband's death right now? I look around wildly, but there's no sign of the danger that my body is sure is near. What is? Oh shit! What the hell? And then I see them, countless shapes pressing themselves against the windows. Some are familiar, some I've never seen before. All of them are on me, riding me on as if I'm a caged animal. Their whispers permeate the glass, low at first, but soon rising to furiously hurled curses, words I know all too well. Sure, I saw her hide a smile. Probably wanted to keep all his money all to herself. Doesn't sound like she actually loved him at all. And one voice that I hear above all the others. I thought his wife was going to kill him. Stop. I begin to draw into myself, but they won't relent. They don't even seem to notice me there anymore. So wrapped up in their hatred. Could she even think that of him? Who does she think she is? Nothing without him, and she knew it. Stop. I open my mouth, but no sound comes out. The voices rise to a fever pitch. Enraged shouts and howling taunts so loud they threaten to shatter the glass that holds them. I can barely even hear their words anymore. Greedy, ungrateful, faithless, murderer. I wasn't the unfaithless one, by the way. I was faithful to the end. He was the one that was, sleeping with all his patients. Stop! A dead sound falls after my scream. The shadows all swivel to look at me in unison, as though they're one body, one mind. But I don't care. You have no idea what you're talking about. None of you, not a single one of you knows what our marriage was really like. And why would you not? Why would you? You only ever saw what you wanted to see. If you knew the first thing about me, you'd know I would never do this. My eyes scan the writhing crowd, and suddenly there she is, the woman I saw him with. You had something with my husband, didn't you? She tilts her head at me with contempt. Yes, I did, and I'm not ashamed. He helped me through a hard time, but you just had to make it about you. Why shouldn't he and I comfort each other? You never gave him what he needed, even when he did everything for you. He was never satisfied. It wouldn't have mattered even if I gave him everything I had. Nothing I did. Hey, thank you, Shinkin. Thank you, Betsy, for supporting. Appreciate it. I hope work is going well, by the way. Nothing I did was ever good enough for him. And to say that I drove him to you is nothing but an excuse. Keep telling yourself that. Yeah, you fucking whore. Get out of here. Something about her seems to deflate and she melts away into the masses. Yeah, go find another dude to sleep with, alright? Gosh. I shake my head and find another shape in the crowd. Her, my oldest friend. But why are you here? I never did anything to you. Didn't you? The moment you married that man, you suddenly didn't have time for anyone else. I thought we'd always be friends, but you abandoned me. She bows her head sadly. Why did you have to do that to me? What did I do wrong? He turned me against you. I'm sorry. He always told me you were a bad influence, and for a long time I believed him. He must have hated how close we were. I think, in the end, he just wanted me to himself. There's still time, you know. We could find each other again someday. Hopefully. Maybe. We'll just, if we do, we'll just have a wonderful time as gal pals, you know? My body sags as though a great weight has been lifted off her shoulders, and then she's gone. I squeeze my eyes shut. I can't think of that. Not yet, so I find one more shape in the mob. You were his patient, his friend. You did everything together and you never once saw him betray me. If he ever hid anything from you, it's because you were always so paranoid. He couldn't so much as be alone with someone without you biting his head off. He was a good man. He only ever wanted to help people. Why are you so hell-bent on denying that? Of course, why didn't I see it before? He kept you around because you always covered for him, and your friendship meant you never questioned him either. I wonder, did you even know what he was really doing on all those nights when he used you as an excuse to not come home? You've got me all wrong. I never meant to. But the shameful shifting of the stance tells me all I need to know. He withdraws into himself and then vanishes into the crowd. That's quite enough, darling. Oh, no. It's the most familiar voice to me in the world, yet my heart jumps all the same. I resist my instinct to look away and follow his voice up to the top of the staircase to meet his eyes. But the figure that stands before me is no bigger than my husband, but the malice that radiates from his body seems to stretch all the way to the ceiling. No, even higher than that, to the sky. No matter how hard I focus, it doesn't seem to see. I can't seem to see him in any detail. It's like I'm staring at a blind spot in my vision, a spot of nothingness. He peers at me from a face enshrouded in darkness, his head tilted at an odd angle as though his neck is broken. It looks nothing like him, but somehow I know it is. This really is getting tiresome. Don't you think it's time to drop this silly little charade? He takes a menacing step down the stairs, and I'm suddenly aware that I'm completely alone with him. But I refuse to relent. Not now. That's all you know how to do. That's all you know how to do, isn't it? Treat my pain like an inconvenience every time I get too uppity. Shut me down over and over again until I don't see the point in getting up anymore. Well, call it whatever you want. This isn't a game and I'm not playing. He draws in a breath, deep and shuddering like a death rattle, and it takes me a moment to realize that he's laughing. Such fire! Where was this backbone when we were married? Perhaps if you hadn't been so useless, I wouldn't have had to. No, you don't get to turn this around on me anymore. You never wanted a wife. You wanted a doll. A mindless little nothing, always at your beck and call, who never got angry or talked back. Who never once questioned anything you did, because the truth was so obvious that one look was all it took. One look to see that you were the pathetic one. Oh, he pulsated. His form bristles with a palpable anger, but I can't stop. The words keep flooding out of me, a torrent finally breaking through a dam. All your hatred, your sadness, your apathy, you are too much of a coward to face any of it. So instead, you put it all on me. So desperate were you to feel like a man that you endlessly beat down someone who you knew would never fight back. And you were perfectly willing to let the whole town think that I was the problem, too. That I would even kill you. Well, congratulations. You were so convincing that it took you dying for me to see that you were never anything more than a broken, empty. I don't see him move. In a blink of an eye, he's gone from the stairs to inches away from my face. Up close, his head is an ugly, writhing mass of shadows. His eyes a furious blaze. How dare you! Oh, jeez. I feel the air go out of my lungs. His very presence is so cold, so suffocating that being this close to him is like plunging into freezing water. I have lived horrors that you can't even begin to imagine. I was a hero. I earned my place in heaven 1,000 times over. Ooh, okay, yeah, sure you did, bud. Yeah. Ooh, I served in the war. That means I deserve a spot in heaven. No, dude, you're a shitty fucking person. You're gonna rot in hell. Sorry. All I asked for in return was peace and quiet, a loving wife, a family. But you couldn't even give me that. Instead, you sat there day after day, moaning about how unfair it all was. Are you an idiot? I didn't have to give you the world. I chose to. And I can take it all away just as easily. The dark tendrils close around me and squeeze. Spots swim in my vision as I begin to fade. This is it. I can't even scream. I can only gasp for air that doesn't come. Oh, man. And then, somewhere in the quietest part of my mind, I hear her. Is that it? Oh, come on. Don't give up on me now. You feel it too, don't you? Why, he's so desperate. He's afraid of you, of me, of us. Use it. Yeah, use it. Come on. Something in me flares to life, and my hand shoots out of its own accord to seize him by the jaw, forcing him to look at me. Wind whips out all around me, sending the tendrils shrinking back. For a moment, I see it in his eyes. Fear. I don't think so. He struggles against the force, holding him in place, but it's no use. He spits out another hoarse laugh, teeth gnashing in fury. You really think you've won? It doesn't matter what happens here. You're nothing without me, and you always will be. Nothing but my poor, wretched widow who could never. My name is Hilda. Ooh! Yes, Hilda, yes! Yes! The wind rises to a fever pitch, threatening to engulf him entirely, but I don't let it. Not yet. Instead, I hold my shadow at bay, and as I pull him close. Oh, her name changed! Yes! Yes, she's reclaiming who she is! Yes! She is no longer in your fucking shadow, dude. Hell yeah. And you will never speak my name again, because you're dead, and I'm not. Now go to hell where you belong. Yes! I plunge my other hand into his chest where his heart should be and twist. And then she's like, Kalima! Kalima! Oh, man. I still haven't watched Indiana Jones. I should at some point. He gives a final enraged howl before the wind cuts him to ribbons. And where there was once a cloud of impenetrable darkness, suddenly there's just me. And her. Well, that was exciting. I can only give her a tired laugh in response. I know I have nothing to fear from her now. Somehow it still feels silly that I ever did. Not the celebration you were expecting? No. It was even better. So, what's next for us? I'm going to go home, take a bath, and get the best sleep I've had in years. And then, we're going to live. Yes! Woo! Sounds like a plan. She vanishes, her echoing laugh, reverberating my own chest. I take a moment to breathe, slowly in, slowly out, before turning to leave. Golden sunlight streams in through the door that creaks open at my approach. I stop at the threshold, taking one last look at this strange house in the woods before stepping out into the fresh air. There's so much that went unsaid, so many wounds scarred over that I know won't heal overnight, but I have all the time in the world for that. For now, it's time to go home. Oh, see, I don't want to get the other endings now, because that's like the ending I like. That's like her finally getting her freedom.